Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We're talking Lovecraft Country. This is season 1, episode 3, titled Holy Ghost. And I'll just go ahead and say this. I did enjoy this episode much better than episode 2. I don't know. I got a lot more closure in this episode. Things weren't as confusing to me, and overall, it was just entertaining. So with this channel right here, I do movie reviews, I do trailer reactions, respond to entertainment news. Just also talk about things that I think are cool. I also do TV show recaps, breakdowns, like I'm doing right now with Lovecraft Country. So if you haven't tuned in before, know that I will be spoiling this episode and the entire series, up, down, left, right, in, and out, is if you've already seen the show, if you've already seen this episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know why, but turn away because I don't want to spoil you. But if you don't care about being spoiled, go ahead. You're welcome here, and let's talk about the show. And before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. And also stay to the end because I have a few questions that I want to ask some of my viewers about what they thought about the show, what they thought about my breakdown, etc. And you won't know that if you tune out early. So anyway, here we go. Holy Ghost. You know, it's very interesting how the episode is titled Holy Ghost, and that's kind of how this episode started, with Lady Letitia in church with all the other black people getting their praise on, you know, praising the Lord, praising God, praising Jesus, just having church, you know, Sunday morning or whatever day it is, but I'm assuming it's Sunday morning. And you know, Letty, she's really hurt. She's really grieving. She's, you know, what happened to Uncle George in the last episode, and he's dead. It does not look like he's coming back, and that's such a shame because, you know, I was such a fan of his character, of the actor himself. And with this show dealing with magic and things of that nature, I wish that they would use some type of magic or something like that to bring him back, you know, because Letty died in the last episode, but she was able to come back. And so, you know, I'm just kind of really bummed out by that because I really did like Uncle George. He was a cool dude. You know, he was very smart. He knew a lot. And, you know, usually, you know, when that's the case with the characters, you know, they're not there for a long time. But who else like myself thought that during this point in the episode right here where they had the title card come up, you know, saying in Chicago in 1955, you know, a group of Negro men and women moved into a house, but, you know, 10 days later, 3 of them came up missing. Pioneering is dangerous. I was like, I mean, first of all, I just like that where they revealed that horror element really came through at this point in the episode, changing the tone significantly from the past 2 episodes. Also with this, we know exactly what time we are in history. We knew we were in the 50s, but we have an exact year now. It is 1955, which is the very beginning of the civil rights movement, of course, that you know, ended in the 60s. Now later on, and we get a hint of that later on, when Letty is having the housewarming party and she's being a hostess and going around pouring drinks, just making sure that everybody's having a good time. There's a conversation between a group of you know, of the party members or whatever, you know, and it's like, hey, have you heard of the new up and coming preacher that's supposed to give the movement new life or something? And that was like, is his name Malcolm? And they was like, well, now they call him Martin. And didn't he marry a white woman? Or, well, last year they made him marry a colored woman. So, you know, I'm assuming they're talking about Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's who they're talking about. And then Letty came through and was just like, well, hey, you know, just because somebody marries a white woman does not mean that they can't speak up for black people. Now, I personally think that's Jordan Peele throwing shade at all the haters that he got out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw this episode a couple of times and I didn't catch it the first time. And I wanted to make sure I mention this because Jordan Peele is a part of this production right here, right? And he's married a white woman. And that came out when Get Out was released. What was that, 2017, I believe? Or whatever. Like, oh, how can, not everybody, but a few people in my circles on social media, how can he be pro-black and talking about the black struggle and da-da-da, he's married a white woman? That don't make no sense. First of all, he's half white. And his white side is his mother. You know what I'm saying? And there's just, I mean, you may not agree with this, but I've heard as an old saying that, men like to marry, women like their mom or whatever. Like my mom is really sweet. So I love sweet women too. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, I think all men like sweet women. But, people were giving him a hard time because he having this pro-black movie with Get Out, yet he's married to a white woman. And first of all, half of the people don't even know that Jordan Peele was half white. And then two is, yes, I think one of the best things a black person or a black man can do to help the black community is marry a black woman. So me marrying a black woman to create black children, I think that's the best thing that you can do, or one of the best things. But me personally, I mean, if a black person wants to marry a white person, or if a black man wants to marry a white woman or whatever, I still think that they can speak up on black issues or whatever. You can still be educated. I personally just won't go down that route. I just personally think black women are the best in the whole universe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be marrying me a black woman. I'm not just saying that a white woman or anybody else is not worthy, but black women up there for me. And as a black man, I have no shame in saying that. A white man should feel that way about a white woman. A brown man should feel that way about a brown woman. I think you get my point or whatever. But I don't know. Did y'all catch that? Do you think that, I know I jumped kind of towards the middle of the episode, but do you think Jordan Peele right there was kind of throwing shade? But we're in the house now, but let's back up to where Letty and Ruby, her sister, are buying the house. So when it comes to Letty's character and Ruby's character, the sisters, one thing that I'm just noticing is there's just different shades and tones of blackness within the show. Everybody's not all light skin or dark skin. It's just a mixture, the whole Crayola box. And I just like that for just a number of reasons, representation and just, I don't know, a number of things, just showing the the full spectrum of blackness. That's just something that I did appreciate. But yeah, they're trying to buy the house. Well, she bought the house, of course. Ruby is just not buying it, like, what's going on, but Letty is just livid. She's just, excited, just like, we got a house. Yeah, we can move people in and you don't have to ever pay rent. And the whole thing just seems, too good to be true or whatever. And she just really doesn't know where she got the money. And, she's making up all these lies. And, Letty's character is like really, really, unraveling right here. And, Ruby is really concerned with going down to the department store and just like, no, I can't have no distractions. I'm trying to get this job, and Letty's talking about she's going to help her. We kind of see how that turns out. But so the next interesting thing we have here is Hippolyta, George's wife, his widow, excuse me. It's very unfortunate she's grieving right now, and the way she's grieving as she's tearing these pages out of the Dracula book. I don't know exactly why she's doing that. I know she's frustrated. We find out that she accepted the story that Montrose and Atticus and Letty gave her, but she just knows that there's just some information missing, and she misses her husband at that. And she's kind of fed up with George. He's trying to just do his thing, and be polite and helping out Dee with her swing and cooking and helping her with the guidebook. And she's really taking all this in right now. She's getting really frustrated because as he's doing dishes, talking about Atticus, how he's leaving the cup up instead of down like George likes it. And so that he knows that he's overstayed his welcome as he goes to meet with his father during the next scene right there, and they have somewhat of a confrontation, unfortunately, that does not end well. He feels bad. He's just like, look, man, we need to tell her the whole truth and nothing but the truth. She deserves to know. But I see both sides of it. He's like, what are we supposed to say? There's wizards, they have magic. We can't do shit. He was like, we can't do shit. Hippolyta can't do shit. You can't do anything. We can't do anything. And that just kind of stood out to me because, this is 1955, Jim Crow America in Chicago. And completely understand how that's the mindset back then of how you just can't do anything. What's unfortunate is a lot of black people still today feel that way. Just like there's nothing we can do. if we try to fight back or defend ourselves or move up the economic ladder, they'll put us back in slavery. I don't run across a lot of black people like that, but I do know that they exist out there. And him saying this also spills over in the later episode too, while all the black boarders are getting harassed at the house, at Ruby and Letty's house, by the white supremacists. The cops are driving by, allowing it to happen. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, what do you do? But who comes and saves the day next? Our brother Tick Atticus. Things are not working out. He overstayed his welcome at Ruby's. He just bumped heads with his father, or is that really his father? We're going to find out. So he comes over to the house or whatever, just checking on Letty. And we found out that 3 weeks has passed by, because that was one of the things that was like kind of rubbing me the wrong way at the beginning of the episode. I was like, how much time has passed by? I really don't know, and I would like to know, and I'm kind of frustrated that we don't know. But 3 weeks has passed by, and during this time where Letty, she extends herself and just opens up her arm, her doors in her house to him. That's when the racist white supremacists show up, and they're harassing our black people. And I just love this imagery right here. I mean, this scene, this shot showing Atticus going outside, and he's not bothered. Now, Ruby is bothered a little bit, like, oh my gosh, we knew this was coming. But I just love that shot of all the black people standing on the porch of the house, and Atticus just on the pillow like this, just leaning. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I think I will stay just a little bit longer. I mean, I already was feeling him in the show and just liking his character and all that good stuff. But this is right here when they just took it to the next level. I was like, there you go, black man. That is what's up right there. You know what I'm saying? Stand your ground. Protect your people. Y'all come together as a group and do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what's up. I mean, and I get it. In 1955, I mean, they were trying to integrate into America and be accepted and all that stuff. I understand that, but lessons learned, guys. We cannot have that same mindset, because some of y'all still are. They can't just get along. They don't want to get along with us. Okay, so we shouldn't beg people to like us. You know what I'm saying? So let's use this show that's 70 years ago as an example of how we can move forward now and in the future in the most productive and constructive way. But like I said, I was really feeling that scene right there. It really did stand out to me. And now we also have another scene right here where the ghosts or the spirits are popping up, where Letty's in bed and she's being harassed by the ghost. She goes downstairs, she hears all this commotion, she has to fix the heater. And then she feels, not a draft, but the spirits down there trying to knock up the door. She screams and gets the hell out of there. Another reason why I really just like Atticus' character, or Tick's character, is because he listens to Letty. You know what I'm saying? He's there for her. He's supporting her. He's protecting her. You know what I'm saying? Protect black women at all costs, And I feel that because when she goes to get his help, he doesn't ask any questions. The scene cuts where, he got his muscles on with his muscle shirt, with his bat. She got the flashlight in the back. He goes down there. Ah! Well, he doesn't do all that, but that would have been kind of cool if, he did. But, he looks around, cussing the light. He was like, I don't see anything. She was like, well, and I mean, in any situation, in any other condition, Letty would seem crazy, but that's just not the case. He's like, I don't see anything. Well, there was something down here. And he was like, well, hey, I believe you. I do believe you. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nothing now, but I know you're not crazy. Just the simple fact that he listens to her. You know what I'm saying? He was there for her when she needed him. He listens. He's not like, man, you tripping. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, he just like, okay. And then later on, when they was at the diner, when she shows up, she got papers and stuff. When she revealed to him that the house was haunted, he's like, what is all this? He's like, I think my house is haunted. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, what did he say? I can't remember the exact words, but read it out to me, break it down to me. I'm like, okay, I like this dude, man. He's listening. He's trying to be there. He's trying to be supportive. He's not just writing her off or anything like that. And so it's just another reason why I'm liking his character. But let me back up real quick, because we got the housewarming party and everybody grooving. You know what I'm saying? Remember the good times photo at the beginning and the end of the episode where they posing like this right here? That's how everybody looked like they was dancing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's what came to mind when I was watching this episode. Just to, I don't know if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. But everybody was getting it in, having a good time, and this is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about Martin Luther King. Now the other brother, I don't want to spoil anything, but hey, he went up to Addis. Hey man, I like the fact you're showing up in your was it I can't remember if it was the Navy or the Army, which branch of the military Tick was in. But he came in suited and booted, saw his girl, Letty over there getting it in. He looking kind of jealous. You know what I'm saying? It is. Oh, let me back up. I'm leaving out a part because this is very important. When I was down there in the basement, he was like, hey, I'll nail down the windows. I'll stay and watch for a few nights or whatever. She's like, oh, you don't have to do that. He's like, but I will. I was like, oh snap! You know what I'm saying? I see a black man superhero. I was, oh, you don't have to do that, but I will. I'm just like, that's what's up. That was just dope to me. You know what I'm saying? That's I want to see more of that in all of black entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Just a black man just stepping up to the plate, but I will. I'm being silly, but I'm being serious at the same time. And so she was like, oh, well, hey, come into my world, open up. And she tried to grab him and embrace him, and she grabbed his hands, and we got the shot of that. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Some romance is sparking between these two. We knew there was some tension there, and now it is unraveling. Are we going to get the goods? Are we going to get, I'll wait on that. But he pulled away. And I'm like, whoa, what you doing, bro? Now, he must really like her, because God, God, I don't know if maybe I'll save that for another episode. But I found that very interesting that he pulled away from her like that. But when he got back to the party and he saw her dance with old dude or whatever, he was feeling some type of way or whatever. Now the other dark brother that was talking to him saying, hey, me and Letty used to tussle back in high school. If you know what I'm saying, that's kind of whack, man. Don't be telling on yourself or whatever. Keep things behind closed doors. Let's not be tacky. But Atticus was not feeling that or whatever. Now, at another point, where Hippolyta, that's when she kind of expressed that, Tick overstayed his welcome and eating up all the food. And Letty was like, oh, I thought it was helping. And, that's when she kind of expressed, more of her grievances and how she just wasn't dealing well and all that good stuff. But that's when she asked about the D and her friends, and they was down there with the Ouija board, and we saw that it spelled George or whatever. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. I don't really get down with the Ouija boards like that. It's always been something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, scared me. Now some of y'all be like, oh, Brandon, Ouija board, ain't nothing wrong with Ouija boards. That's that Christianity that, whatever. We ain't gonna get into all that, but we will later on in this episode. But yeah, Ouija boards are not my friend. But then we get this next shot right here with Hippo. Was it? I can't remember if it was Hippolyta. I can't remember if it was. Yeah, I was gonna get Hippolyta mixed up with Ruby, but it was Hippolyta that the door opened and we saw that golden contraption in there that looked like it was all the planets in the solar system spinning around or something like that. So, do you know what that is, and do you think it will be an important piece of storytelling later on in the series? We'll have to just come back to that. Later on. But earlier, Tick was not liking his woman, I guess, that his crush danced with another dude, and he opens the door, man, and it's the first, well, not the first sex scene in this series. I think the second, because George and his wife Hippolyta was getting it in, I think episode 1. But yeah, they nice little passionate sex scene right here, and they were both engaged and looked like they was having a good time, and I was happy for them both. I'm just like, this is what's up, and it was kind of cute at the end. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, and he was like, well, I see you downstairs, and I think I have an idea of why, but I want to try to stay in my lane. This question is for the women out there. Why did Letty start crying after that, after the sex scene, the engagement or whatever? Looks like she was starting her cycle too, which of course happens all the time. But yeah, why was she crying? I only want to hear from the women on that, if you don't mind answering down in the comment section. But things kind of get back to normal. And um, Ruby is down there singing her songs, doing her thing, and then this is where the white supremacists pop back up, burning crosses or whatever. And Letty just feels a spirit come over her, and she's like, "I'm tired of this. I want to fight back." She grabs that bat, and it's just beautiful. Beautiful. She just kind of goes out there on her own. But Atticus is like, "Hey, y'all, get the shotguns out the closet. Let's go to work." And that's just another dope ass scene right there. You know what I'm saying? Just a bunch of black men, women teaming up, going outside, fighting and facing white supremacy. And Atticus directing, like, "You go over there, I'll go over there," and they cocking it back and reloading and Letty going through, knocking out the bricks. And then they had the gospel song playing, like, "Make the Devil Mad," because we got the white supremacists, the devils, looking through the window like, "Oh, they're still over there partying. Why is the honking of the horns and the burning crosses not making them bad and getting them out of there?" You know what I'm saying? And so I just like how they have this scene of black people showing strength in some form of organization, taking charge, taking ownership, showing the white supremacists being mad in the background, while you have this other gospel song talking about make the devil mad, kill the devil sucks, F the devil, all that stuff, F the devil. Yeah, I was really feeling that. But the racist white cops, they pull up, they arrest Letty for only for some reason. And, this is kind of where the plot thickens a little bit, because this is where this cop is like, "Okay, where did you get this? Like, who told you to buy this house? Where did you get the money?" And of course, we see the police brutality, in the back of the car. Police brutality happened then. It happens today. They just get away with it. And during this time, this is another example of, like, you can't do anything. Like, who do you call? Like, she was like, "Hey," the cop was like, "Hey, we've got a lot of complaints about you from your white neighbors." And she's like, "I've made 21 complaints." And they're just ignoring her. They're just falling on deaf ears. But we don't see her in jail. The next scene, we see her in her basement, like downstairs, and she has all of the bruises, from being beat on her face or whatever. She just really looks tired and, emotionally drained. I don't blame her. But that's when she really realizes that her house is haunted, and the Winthrop house, that her house is haunted, when she sees all the I guess the spirit or ghost images in the images that she was trying to I cannot think right now. Not that she was trying to develop from her photographs or whatever. And she freaks out, and she starts talking to her sister about it. And again, like at the beginning of the episode, this is another part where Letty's character is really unraveling, and we get to kind of just see who she is and the relationship that she has with her sister Ruby, and it's just not good. We find out that her mother had money, but we find out later on in the episode that her mother really didn't have money, that it came from the white supremacist witch lady, which I'll talk about. I'll talk about later on. When Letty is having the exchange with her sister Ruby, everything comes out at this point in time right here. And, Ruby is really honest with her, talking about, "You saying you want to do this for the community, but you only bring your music friends in here." This really just lets her have it. And Letty can't do anything or say anything either. But this just goes to this next scene, to where I was talking about earlier, where I was really feeling Atticus, and how he really listens to Letty, how she's explaining that her house is haunted, and just the more things are unraveled. We know where all the ghosts come from. This is the Winthrop house. And there was an old scientist by the name of Hiram Epstein that was experimenting on black people. And so that's where all of those spirits or ghosts are coming from, or whatever. I mean, I don't think if I missed this, please let me know in the comments. He killed them all. Epstein did, with the experiments that she was showing them in the paper. And the police was in the photos as well that knew about the house, and he was the one that was capturing, or I guess kidnapping, the black people and taking them there. But I don't think they explain how Epstein died himself. Maybe, I don't know. I would think that I was going to say slaves, but they were slaves in the sense that the victims, that he was experimenting on, they killed them too. But I don't know. I mean, it's obvious to me how they died, but. And this scene right here, I watched this scene 3 times, because the second time it scared me, where Letty kind of, she was explaining herself, and she was just saying, Yeah, we're dealing with, oh, okay. So she explains to Atticus that she was like, hey, the other night at the housewarming party, that was my first time. And he's like, first time what? And she says to him, first time having sex. I don't believe her. And that's, I'll just say, I'll trying to talk without spoiling it. So remember the guy earlier that said that, they used to tussle in the high school. He says this, Letty says this. Will it come up in future episodes? We'll just have to see. Wink, wink. But why did she say that? I also want to hear from the ladies on that as well. And she was like, I just need to feel something. I just need to just feel good. All these things that we've been going through, we're finding out about these monsters and magic and things of that nature. She was like, I found out that the world is not the way that I thought it was. And I'm having to learn the new way of the world or something like that. And I'm scared, but I don't want to live in fear, and I won't, or something like that. Like, for some reason, that monologuing right there makes me feel that she may turn into a villain later on in the series. I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. And you're probably saying to yourself, Brandon, what the hell are you talking about, bro? I didn't get that. That was a wonderful black moment of empowerment. And yes, it was. And I like it, but I could be foreshadowing incorrectly here. But this scene, the next, what leads into the next scene when she's taking ownership is, the woman that showed up with the goat, that sacrificed the goat at the very, at the front of the house. I don't know. I don't know what to call her. I just don't. I feel kind of ignorant too. Now, as soon as this scene was playing out, now I'll go ahead and get a little personal here. I grew up, I grew up a Christian. I still am. However, I do acknowledge the fact that the version of Christianity that was taught to me was a whitewash, watered down version. So I grew up in I went to Trinity Christian School. Trinity, God the Son, God the Father, God the Holy Spirit, predominantly white people. But I also grew up, if you know Dallas, Friendship West Baptist Church. So I'm surrounded by black people. So to be honest with you, it was two different perspectives all my life, and things just weren't clear to me completely, especially where black people came from. And I've spoke about this in past videos, how angry I was when I found out the truth or whatever. And just to clarify some things, I know that in slavery, we learned Christianity from our slave masters, and they manipulated the verses, made us all forgiving and docile and things of that nature. However, I said all that to say, because when this scene started, when she sacrificed the goat, I immediately thought about the Passover in that story in the Bible, in Exodus, to where God is killing. He sends the spirit to take the life of all the Egyptians' first sons, the first son of all the Egyptians. And the only way, you can be protected is if you have the blood of the lamb on the doorpost. And so then you have this right. Oh, hit the mic. Then you have this right here. I don't think it was a lamb. It was a goat. I can't remember. But it was blood everywhere. And I was like, oh, this seems familiar to me. And then they put the blood on the doorpost. And then they put the blood, in the Exodus, I don't think they put the blood on the Israelites' forehead or whatever. But, and she was like, hey, I got to put this blood on you to protect you while I purge the house. So I was like, wow. This is, I'm just saying, it may not be a big deal to you, but to me, the first time I watched this episode, this is what came to my mind. And I said to myself, wow, the similarities, you know what I'm saying? Because a ton of scholars say is that, the white supremacists took, this religion and this book and manipulated it and da-da-da-da. And so, it was just kind of like this is interesting or whatever, the similarities in between, this method here and then what's in the book of Exodus or whatever. And so, they go down there and she's calling all the spirits, and then they get into a circle of prayer and they start praying. Now, you may call it something different, but, I do remember that at my Christian school and Christian church, and over here at Trinity, they're doing their stuff, speaking in tongues, and it did not make sense to me at all. I'm not making fun of anybody or anything, anybody's religion or spirituality or anything, but I didn't understand all that when I was a child or whatever. But when they're doing that in this show, she was speaking Creole, And she was like, chant with me. It was just this. I'm just saying all this because the similarities in culture and from the different cultures, it was just interesting to me or whatever. What was I about to say? Yeah, she's speaking in Creole and she says, "Mama, where is it? Mama Oya used me as a vessel to protect us from the demon spirits or something like that." And then right when she said that, the 3 white supremacist demons broke into the house. And I was like, I like how they're doing this right here. You know, the white supremacists are the demons. Now, some people going to try to mix them up. You're saying white people are demons? I said the white supremacists are demons, so shut up. And you know they all died, of course, rightfully so. They deserved every a moment of that. I even like how one of them was scared out. He heard the baby crying. He'd turn around and it's a ghost of a grown body with a baby head. First of all, Epstein, you are sick with these type of experiments you're doing, bro. You're disgusting. You're the scum of the earth. But he was, oh God, and he was pointing his bat like this and scared, and they got water heated to death, and the other one got decapitated by the elevator, and they just put the blood right in your face, and it was just spraying out. But going back downstairs in the basement, that was just they're praying and doing their thing and chanting in Creole, and the photos are flying around, and the spirits and the spirits are coming out. And she's like, it's working. But it's interesting how the water turned on and wiped away the blood off their foreheads. And lady was like, oh no, our protection, or like, I forgot exactly what she said, but she was like, we're not protected. She said something in the capacity like, we're not protected anymore. And that's where the black woman, the spirit lady, like I said, I don't know what to call her, she got possessed, and then she possessed Atticus because they didn't have the protection anymore. And so Letty came through like Storm from X-Men, powered up. I'm Letty, what I'm saying, with the water just get out of my fucking house. I was like, oh, the acting is coming through. Can we get some Emmys, some Oscars, all of it? You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn. And so she was, she called out every, I'm spitting everywhere, I'm so excited. She called out all of the spirits, you know what I'm saying? I think one of them was named, I was going to write them down, but I was like, I don't feel like putting on the subtitles or going back and writing. But she called out like all 8 spirits or whatever. And you're like, you. And they all came, and, they was all disfigured and just nasty looking because of the evil Satan Hiram Epstein's experimenting. And she's chanting or whatever. And like the wind is blowing and the lights are flickering and the water spraying. And she just, like this. Like she just, it was a badass moment or whatever. I was convinced. I was like, you are doing the damn thing, my sister. You can act. I'm giving it to you. Great job. Also, she can act, man. First episode, she was running in the woods anyway. But the Epstein ghost comes through or whatever. And then they all the black spirits are free. Epstein, I'm hoping he dies forever now. He can't hunt nobody no more. That was one of my favorite scenes in the show right there. Oh, and they had the song, the gospel song in the background, Satan like tear down the kingdom and all that. I like how they did that with the gospel music too, like tear Satan down. But yeah, that was a dope scene. But we're not done. It's daytime. Everything has calmed down. We see the bodies under the basement in this tunnel with a lot of bodies. I wonder if that tunnel is going to lead to somewhere. And I really don't know. And I've seen episode 4 and 5. So the next scene, we have Atticus going to Christina's office or whatever. And she's like, JJ, get the box and get out of here. You know what I'm saying? And this is where things get even more interesting than they already are right now. Because this is where things are revealed that Letty's mother did not have the money, that it was Christina Braithwaite that gave the money. And now, why did she want Letty to buy the house? What's going on there? You know what I'm saying? These are the type of questions that are being raised. But Christina, she got these powers, man. She got these spells. Atticus tries to blow her head off, saying, I want you to stay away from my family. And he can't pull the trigger, man. She got these powers. This is what you call a super Karen or whatever. They haven't popped up in 2020 yet. They got the children out there now. But they are coming. Maybe they'll pop out around in November. I hope they stay away. But that's the first. I was like, the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, oh snap, this is a super Karen right here with these powers or whatever. And she was just so confident. But I also like how confident Atticus was, how Tick was when he was initially going in and shutting the blinds like this, and they were going back and forth or whatever. But she says that, Winthrop was one of the original founders of the Sons of Adam or whatever. And he didn't like the fact that him and Epstein he didn't like the fact that Titus Braithwaite, the older evil ancestor, had the book of names and could decipher all the codes for spells or whatever. And she was like, even them, they're not skilled or disciplined enough to even get the spells. So Winthrop stole some pages or whatever and like hid them, in a vault that I can't remember if Winthrop hit them or Titus hit them in the vault only for that they can get through. And it was like the spells that they have now is just from one deciphered chapter. So imagine how many magical powers they're going to be if they can get the whole book of names and decipher all of that or whatever. Now, of course, this they're going to get. I'll go ahead and say they're going to get a little more than that into the next episode. But I was like, man, I'm really feeling this right here. So we got the Sons of Adam, the Book of Names, and now they're trying to decipher codes and stuff to use powerful spells and whatever. And then the last little, it was funny because Christina was talking shit. She was like, no, Atticus was like, I'm not here for a lesson. She's like, what are you here for? That's when he pulled out the gun. And so then Christina came back and was like, yeah, here's my card. Call me when you want to learn more about the lesson. So, of course, she has, more cards up her sleeve. And she's like, look, you got to be smarter than this. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be going around killing white women. And I was like, damn, she got you there, cuz. She got you there. You can't just be going around killing white women that easily. You know what I'm saying? That's, not that I want to just go around killing white women. I'm just saying, like, dang it, I can't kill white women. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, that is, that is a feat or whatever. Even if she is evil, you're going to have to be super duper strategic, in this thing or whatever. And that concludes the episode, guys. And I'll go ahead and say that episode 4 gets even better. I really can't wait for y'all to see episode 5. Oh my God, y'all going to lose your damn mind. But yeah, man, I really did like this episode. I liked it much better than episode 2. A lot of things stood out to me. I really did like how Atticus was there for Letty on a number of occasions just to protect her and hear her out and, not write her off as crazy. And just the number of images of black people standing together as a group defending themselves. Whether their approach was right or wrong, they were still there together defending themselves. And, I was really feeling the scenes with the religious or spiritual practices and how, that kind of was similar to the way I was raised, with, Christianity and prayer and all that stuff. But it was really good. But, the ladies, I did ask y'all a few questions. Why did Letty start crying? Why did Letty start crying, after sex? And why did she tell Atticus, that this was her first time? And I almost forgot to mention, since one of the things that I really did love in this episode were all of the black people teaming together, working together, I wanted to go ahead and shout out a few other black YouTubers that cover this show, Lovecraft Country, too. Of course, Sharronda Williams with Pay or Wait. She's a sweetie. She's a good friend of mine, and she works very hard. She does a lot of live after shows for this series, Lovecraft Country. So please go check out her channel. Give her some support and subscribe. We also have Eman with Eman Movie Reviews. He does breakdowns of each episode as well. Right now, he has an explainer video for episode 3. It's quite good and quite funny. I think you'll have a lot of enjoyment out of that. I've mentioned his channel in the past, and I don't mind doing it again. But last but definitely not least is someone that I've never mentioned before, Miss Tieesha Essex. That's Tieesha space ESSEX. She's very sweet and intelligent too. She covers Lovecraft Country. She talks a lot about racism, white supremacy. She even had a video talking about how Lovecraft Country has the Green Book in it, which was a thing that black people had to adhere to many decades ago. So please subscribe to her channel as well. She's a very educated, sweet sister, and I have nothing but love for her. So Sharronda with Paraway, Eman with Eman's movie reviews, and Tieesha Essex, all of their YouTube channel links are down in the description box below. Oh, and I'm tripping, man. What the hell is wrong with me? I cannot believe I forgot to mention these two. Also, go check out my boy Lamont Tyson with his channel. His channel is much bigger than mine, like 5 times the size. He got like 122,000 subscribers. I pop up on this channel a few times. I've been there about 3 or 4 times, and I plan on joining him again. I have a ton of fun with this brother. He talks about everything: movies, TV shows, trailers, entertainment news, stock, P-Valley, power, a whole bunch of stuff. You know, it's blackety black over here. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check him out as well. And also somebody that he teams up a lot with, my boy Larry, with his channel Today I Feel Like. This brother just reached a new milestone of 25,000 subscribers. So make sure you show him love too. He is really into tech and gadgets, and he be doing the reviews and breaking everything down. And he also would be reviewing masks. You know what I'm saying? How many YouTubers out there reviews masks? You know, he be taking them all on type of tests. He'd be doing yawn tests, this type of test, this type of test. You got to check his channel out to see all the tests. So on top of that, we got Tieesha, we got Sharronda, we got Eman, we got Larry, and we got Lamont. You know what I'm saying? We blacking it up today. Go check all these people out. Links are in the description box below. Also, I want to know from you guys, what was your favorite part of the episode? What stood out to you the most? I'm very curious. You can also let me know what you thought about my breakdown. But guys, that is just my opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel and look me up on social media. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That is really affecting me, and you'll always be remembered, my king. And guys, before you go, don't forget to always chase your dreams, because I'm chasing mine. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.